Today is chair yoga. We're going to sit on a chair. For most of the practice, we'll stand up and use the chair for balance for a little bit of the practice, but mostly seated. We are going to try and get connected to muscle groups. So the physical parts of yoga, there's a lot more to yoga than just the physical part, but the physical part is designed for self-exploration, self-inquiry. It's to get to know your muscles, get to know where you're weak, get to know where you're strong, get to know what you need to work and what you don't, to feel physically balanced. We're looking for balance in all of the layers, looking for balance emotionally, physically, mentally. It's all about balance, getting union of the layers. So as we move through the poses or the actions that we're going to do, really try to connect to having sensation and connection to the muscle group we're thinking about. So this is me flapping my leg around. I can breathe and move, and I can flap my leg. And then my leg is not active. My muscles are not moving. If I activate the leg and squeeze the muscles and resist the movement, it looks more like this. Squeezing in and out. So this is what we're trying to look to do throughout the practice today. Locate the muscle group we're working with, squeeze it, activate it, and then move slow and build strength through the muscle group that we're working on. Today we're going to use our hands on our face. So if you have not already, wash your hands. Keep your hands clean because we're going to use our hands for our breath. So if you have yoga blocks, they may be handy for us to use. Keep them handy by your feet. I have shorter legs, so sometimes it's comfortable for me to have my feet up on the blocks. So start to land in your chair. We're going to begin practice. We pretty much always begin a yoga practice by grounding. So grounding means drawing yourself into the present moment. So letting go of all of the things outside of the practice for now and really landing on the mat, landing in this body, landing in this present moment, letting go of worries of tomorrow, worries of yesterday, and just landing on this present moment. Take your hands and rub them together, make them nice and warm. We're going to bring our hands onto our lap, just somewhere on our lap where our shoulders, everything else is nice and comfortable. Maybe if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. Find sensation where your hands meet your legs. So feel the warmth of your hands in your legs. And start to imagine a drawing down sensation, a landing sensation. You're going to land in your hips. You're going to land with your feet on the ground. Feeling connected to the ground, to the earth below. And starting to really turn the focus inward, finding the breath, softening the shoulders. And then with every breath in, imagine you could breathe in down through the crown of your head, down your spine to your tailbone. And you're drawing in fresh energy to the tip of your tailbone. And then as you breathe out, you're sweeping away tension, getting a little longer, and letting go of things no longer needed. Breathing in fresh. And gently sweeping away tension, holding patterns in the spine, stress in the shoulders, landing in the breath. Soften the face. And then landing in the chair, just checking in on how you're feeling, asking yourself the question, how am I physically today? How am I emotionally? How am I energetically? How am I mentally? How am I spiritually? Do I feel spiritually connected to my soul and to something greater than myself, or do I feel a little disconnected? Just asking yourself these questions and listening with patience and kindness to the answers, without judgment, without frustration. If the mind is whirling, the mind is whirling. If the emotions are whirling, the emotions are whirling. We're just asking and getting to know. And then if the eyes are closed, gently float the eyes open. And we're going to work on a very soothing breath, so a balancing breath through the left and right sides. So we're really going to think about going through the left and right sides of our body with our breath. So it's called alternate nostril breath. Many of you have done it with me before. So we're going to imagine a U shape. We're going to use our hands to make this breath pattern happen, but we want to connect with the idea of drawing up through one side, down through the other, up through that side, and then back down through the other. So we're going to draw in through the left nostril while the right nostril is closed. Then we're going to close the left nostril and breathe down the right nostril. Breathe up the right nostril, close the right nostril, breathe down the left, and then breathe up the right. So it's an up and down, like a little U through the breath. And the more that you connect to that shape, that flow, drawing up, slowly pushing down, drawing up, slowly pushing down, but really connecting, going from left to right, right to left. Important to not force the breath. So often when we do these breath practices, this starts to happen. We really start to focus and force. We're just trying to have our normal breath pattern. Make it softer, make it more gentle, less forceful. So we use our thumb, whatever is comfortable for you. Traditionally, we use our thumb with our forefinger, index finger on our middle of our forehead. And we use one of our other fingers to cross and close. So we lift the fingers to close the right nostril. Breathe in through the left. We use the thumb, and then we switch. But you can do whatever you like. You can use two hands if it's easier for you, and just cross one, and then close the other. Close one, close the other. Whatever works for you. We're just breathing in through the left nostril, out through the right, in through the right, out through the left. So start to take very slow, steady breaths, not forceful. In through the left nostril. Close the left, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Close the right and breathe out through the left. Nice and slow. Really focusing on sensation. Noticing how it feels to breathe in through the left and how it feels to breathe out through the right. And then how does it feel to breathe in through the right and out through the left. And as you get that sensation of the breath moving left and right, maybe you can start to imagine a flow, a pattern through the left and right hemispheres of the brain. Inhaling up and exhaling over to the other side. Inhaling up, exhaling over to the other side. This crossing of left and right sides of the body. Take some nice, slow, gentle rounds. If this breath is not working for you, just bring your hands to your laps, close your eyes, take a break. Complete a full round and then just allow your hands to drop into your lap. Soften your eyes closed if it's comfortable for you. And just notice sensation. This can be a very calming breath practice. If this is a breath practice that you do find very, very calming, and you practice it often, you're used to the breath, you come to it often, and you use it in places outside of the house, and you haven't been able to touch your face outside of the house, there is a way that you can do this kind of with your intention using your hands. So we're also going to practice this. So you can practice this if it's too much. Just return to closing and a few more rounds of alternate nostril breath. You bring your palms, bring your eyes open if they're closed. Bring your palms face up in your lap. And you're going to think about opening and closing your hands. So you're going to close the right fist. And you're going to imagine that your right fist is your right nostril. It's connected to your right nostril. And you're going to inhale, breathe in through the left nostril because the left hand is open. Close the left hand, open the right. Breathe out through the right. Inhale through the right. Close the right, open the left. Breathe out through the left. Take a few rounds just practicing connecting your hands to the idea of closing and breathing through the nostrils, just as you would in alternate nostril breath. With some practice, you can really get breathing in through the left and breathing out through the right, breathing in through the right and breathing out through the left, just by connecting with your hands, bringing your focus into your practice, and really, really, really bringing all of your awareness and your attention to your breath and your hands. And if you get practice at this, you can get all the benefits of this soothing breath without having to touch your face. So you can do it when you're driving in the car and you park the car and you need a quick reset. You don't have to touch your face. You can just use your hands and tune in. So if your eyes are closed, float your eyes open and bring your hands to prayer. Interlace your fingers and then just start to move slow through the arms and shoulders. Gentle, slow, feeling what's present. And then we're going to inhale, arms up, nice and slow, active arms. Exhale, sweep the arms down. Press the arms down, active arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweeping down. Starting to really connect with how your arms and shoulders feel, and maybe starting to lift a little. Inhale as you lift the chest a little. Exhale as you pull the chest back. Just a teeny movement through the upper back. Inhale, lift. And exhale back. Excuse me, I can't see my clock. Keep moving and breathing. And bring your hands to prayer and heart space. We're going to work through the legs and lower legs and feet. So if you have a block, come to the to the edge of the chair so you can be nice and solid, strong from the hips up. So you're not sinking back, you're not leaning back, you're actually starting to connect with the stabilizer muscles of your stomach around your spine, and you're pulling up out of the chair. You're going to take the block underneath the right foot, and the right foot further forward of the knee, so this kind of angle. So it's forward of the knee. You're going to pull the toes up towards the shin, and then pull the toes down towards the ground. So we're not flopping the foot, we're pulling. Inhale, pull, exhale, push the foot down. Inhale, pull, exhale, push. Notice any compensation patterns that are starting to happen. Notice if you're starting to get a little funky in the hips, maybe you're pushing into a hip, or just try to keep this movement below the foot. Try to connect with the muscles of the foot and the lower leg, below the knee. And then pull the toes up towards the shin in a comfortable position. So it's comfortable for your ankle. Maybe not the fullest point that you can pull your feet towards your shin, but a little bit back from the fullest point. Active foot. So all the muscles of the foot are working right now. And we're going to inhale as we open up towards the outside. Exhale as we come all the way over to the inside. Inhale, open. Exhale all the way in. So watch the thigh. The thigh is going to want to do all the work because the thigh is a stronger muscle. We want to focus all the action happening from below the knee. And then let the foot soften a little. Take a little wiggle. We're going to place the ball of the foot down on the block and let the heel hang off. So now we're going to press a little into the ball of the foot. Press a little. And we're going to take the heel out and in. So inhale as you draw the heel out. Exhale as you draw the heel in towards center. But again, the thigh's not doing all the work here. We're trying to find the muscles below the knee. If you're ready to step it up a little, and as long as you can do this without really pulling into the low back or landing on the tailbone, you can lift the foot and turn the heel out. Turn the heel towards midline and turn the heel out. Turn the heel towards midline and turn the heel out. So when you turn it out, you'll notice when it doesn't really go that far. We're just looking to connect with the muscles that make this movement happen. You might start to feel a little up into the hip if you lift the leg. Moving with your breath, nice and slow. We're not flopping, we're finding muscles. And then if you lifted the foot, lower it, take a little wiggle. Press both feet down into the ground. I don't know if you can see my toes. Press both feet down into the ground. Pull the toes up. So pull the toes up, feel the muscles of the feet. Pull, active, strong, and then bring only the big toes down. Keep all the other toes up. And then switch. Bring the big toes up and bring all the other toes down. And then wiggle the feet out and take your block a little bit ahead of the left foot. Place the heel down. Set up for the other side. So we're going to inhale as we draw the toes towards the shin, and exhale as we push the ball of the foot down. Finding the muscles in the leg and the foot. Mindful of what's going on in the back. If anything's starting to happen in the back, maybe start to activate the stabilizer muscles of the stomach a little more. Soften the face. Focus on the breath and the movement in the leg. And then draw the toes towards the shin, not all the way, not as far as you can go, but a little bit backed off. And then we're going to inhale as we open the foot up to the outside. Exhale as we squeeze it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze it over midline towards the middle. Slow, controlled, moving with the breath, feeling all the muscles of the leg. And then place the ball of the foot down on the block. Press a little into the block with the ball of the foot. And we're going to move the heel. So inhale, draw the heel out to the outside. And exhale, draw the heel in towards midline. Inhale out. Exhale in. You're just looking to find all the muscles of the leg, maybe starting to feel a little more movement in your outer thigh. Maybe you're ready to lift the heel and take the heel in towards midline, slow out towards the outside, inside and outside. Slow, controlled, feeling the muscles of the leg. And then bring the foot down, take both feet, tap them out. Feel the ground, loosen the muscles. Grab your yoga block. Place it narrow width between the thighs, just above the knees. Try not to place it right into the kneecap, into the knee joint. Be kind of sensitive there. So once you get it, sitting up nice and long, so a little bit of attention to your stomach muscles, getting you up a little taller. Try not to bring tension or rock back into the low back. You're going to squeeze the block just a little. Squeeze the block with the inner thighs. Then bring your awareness to your feet and press into the balls of the feet a little bit. And then imagine that you're trying to pull the feet apart without letting them move. So now you're pulling with the muscles of the lower leg. You're squeezing inner thigh and pulling out with the muscles of the lower leg. This should feel like a lot of work. So then we're going to squeeze on and then a little soft break. Squeeze on, activate, break. Inhale as you squeeze, exhale as you soften. Let the block go and give the legs a little wiggle. A little reset. We're going to go on to a little bit of our standing and balancing portion. So you're going to come to the mat to stand using the chair, the high side facing you, so you have it to balance on. So holding on to your chair. Find your feet wherever they're comfortable, perhaps about hip width apart. You're going to hold onto your chair, and we're just going to move through the feet. So we've been working on those muscles that keep us stable and all the funky angles, the slip and fall muscles, the slipping on ice muscles that we use when we slip. When you think about it, when you slip on the ice, the injury doesn't happen when you have that perfect alignment. The injury happens when something goes a little bit wonky. So we're working on those stabilizer muscles and getting to know them, getting to know where we're strong and where we're not, and building a little strength. So we're going to start to just play with the weight in our feet. So move back and forth on the feet, lifting the heels, lifting the toes, maybe just adjusting the weight if you're not comfortable really rocking. So know where you're balanced, where you're comfortable with your balance, where you're comfortable in your feet. Don't push. We're just rocking, feeling. And then land your feet. And you're going to rock on over to the very right side of each foot, and then rock on over to the very left. Just feeling the weight. Let your knees move wherever they move. We're really focusing. We're not pulling around the knees. We're focusing on just adjusting the weight. Maybe even it becomes like a little U shape with your knees almost. A little round half circle. Moving through your feet, feeling your feet. And then land, and we're going to slowly go through lifting the heels. So bend into the knees, balancing with the chair. We're going to bring the right foot to the ball of the foot. Press into the ball of the foot so you can feel the muscles of the arch. So you can press into the ball of the foot and pull up from the arch. So find the muscles. Imagine that you're standing in stiletto heels, but you're not just hanging out of them. You're pulling up from the ground. And then slowly lower that. Come onto the ball of the left foot and pull up. You can start to feel the muscles all the way up your leg. You can even start to connect into the muscles in your stomach. Get longer, pull up from the ground. Find the muscles of the left foot. Balancing with your chair. Lower the heel. Get comfortable, balance with the chair. Tuck the toes of the right foot under. Land it on the ground. So wherever that looks for you, you may have a very flexible front foot. You may have to bend the left knee. Or maybe you have a very tight foot and you look more like you're up here. So just trying to open up the front of the foot. But we're not just stretching into it. We're going to land it on the ground, place it on the ground as if we're pushing into the ground. Without letting the foot move, pull forward. So pull forward so you're activating the muscles. If you're super strong and open in this way, you may even be able to bend the left knee a little more and pull it all the way up into the front of the right hip. Slowly step that forward. Take a little side sway. Tap out the feet. And then take the left toes under, tuck them under, and notice they may be different from the other side. Our feet, our injuries, our holding patterns are not the same left and right. We have this idea that we need to do exactly the same in our body, but our body is not left and right even. So just feeling your own foot, where you're at. Land it, push it on the ground, and then feel like you're pulling the foot towards you without letting it move. Breathe. And then step it forward. Tap it out. Take your feet a little wider, perhaps about mat width apart. We're holding onto the chair for balance. We're going to start to feel like we're trying to tear the mat apart with our feet. So we're trying to activate all the muscles of the legs. We're not letting our feet move. We're just looking for that action of pulling the feet apart so that all the muscles of the legs fire up. Holding onto our chair, we're going to bend into the knees just a little. And we're trying to find the muscles of the legs. And then we're going to inhale as we lift and straighten. Exhale as we lower. Nice and slow. Inhale as we lift. Exhale as we lower. So there's lots of ways to do this. Turning the feet out. We're working on opening the inner thighs. We can turn the feet parallel. And now we're just working more on the outer leg to keep us stable, to keep our knees strong and safe. See which one works better for you. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Trying to keep that connection all the way through the leg. Every muscle you can find is strong and active. The glutes are pulling you up out of the ground. The core is keeping you long in the spine. Squeeze some of those stomach muscles. And then come on up to stand. You're going to turn so your chair is facing the left hip and your left hand is on the chair. We're going to go into a balancing sequence. So, little bend in the standing leg. Left leg is going to be your standing leg. Try not to lock into that knee joint. When you lock into the knee joint, all kinds of things happen to your balance. Grip with the toes, your back's not quite in line. Get a little bend in that knee. Start to feel like all the muscles of the leg are pulling up out of the ground without pulling backwards and locking the knee. Want to keep our hips stable, so our hips even. So we never know where our hips are. I like to keep my hands on them so I know what my hip is doing. So I'm going to bring my right foot forward a little bit so my toes are down. What I don't want to do is this, twisting around so I can get my leg up, or twisting out so my hip out so I can get my leg up. Bend in the leg, bring my toes forward. This might be far enough for you, so you may be just lifting a teeny bit off the ground, challenging your balance. You're going to inhale as you lift the leg, exhale as you pull it back down. Active both ways. Inhale, lift, exhale, down. You don't need to lift it far. Just find the muscles. Watching for this kind of movement. We want to use the leg. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Squeeze the stomach as if you're trying to pull all the muscles in towards the center and then back towards the spine. Get long. Bend the right knee and send the right leg behind you without too much movement in the hips. Then we're going to lift the back heel. So we're going to lift the heel and lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Notice I'm not tipping to get my leg higher. I want to still keep that long engagement in my spine. And I'm just looking for the back of the leg. So big bend in the knee is fine. If you want to really bend the knee and bring the heel towards the glute, that's fine too. Find the muscles in the back of the leg. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Maybe you're just doing a teeny pull. Find where you're at. Holding onto your chair for stability. Bring the knees even. Your right leg bent. And we're going to pull to the side. So lift the heel up, balancing with the chair. We're going to pull to the side, pull the knee to the side without moving the hips. Knee to the side and back. So we don't want to do this. We're trying to find and activate and connect with the muscles of the leg. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Try and find all the muscles on the outside of the leg. Bring it down and notice how this standing leg feels. Really tap it out. Give it a shake. Give the foot a tap. Let the muscles in the leg shake. And then you're going to switch sides. So the chair will be next to your right hip, holding on to the chair. Get an eye on your hips, so know where they are. Squeeze. So you want to have stomach muscles pulling in towards center and back towards the spine, getting long, long, long. Connect with that muscle group first to help you with your balance. Right knee bends, left foot comes forward. Tap it on the ground just so you can get your base set up nice and strong. And then inhale, lift, exhale, lower. The whole leg active and strong. We're not flopping. When we flop, we do a lot of this. We move around and we're just kind of really going through the range of motion in our joints a lot of the time, and the muscles aren't getting the benefit that they could be getting by engaging and moving slow. Bring the foot down, bend the knee and send the foot past the right leg, so a little bit behind. Activate the entire back of the left leg, and we're just going to pull that heel up off the ground. Maybe heel towards glute, maybe just a teeny pull. So we're just looking to find the back of the leg and the glute. So rather than thinking about getting to a goal, we just want to find connection with the muscles. Sometimes a much smaller movement is actually harder because we're not moving with range of motion. We're not just floating in space and flopping around. We're actually engaging and connecting with the muscles. So let go of that, my shape should look like a certain way, and just start to try and feel the muscles we're thinking about. So right now, the back of the leg, the glute, bring the knees even, left leg is a little bent, and without moving the hips, so we're really focusing on the leg, we're going to pull the knee out towards the side and then back in, pulling back, inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Trying to keep yourself stable. So the reason why we're not moving is the hips is we're trying to activate those stomach muscles. They're the ones that are going to stop us from falling over. There are balancing muscles. And bring that down and tap out the right leg. Tap out the right foot. Wiggle the muscles of the leg. Look for those shakes, those resets. And then holding onto your chair, we're going to use right side tree pose, because this is the side we're on right now. So tree pose is balance. It's a balance pose. It's about focus and balance. So we get strong in the right leg first. Pulling up from the ground, getting tall, tall, tall. Keeping an eye on our hips. So we just work the legs. We found the muscles. Bring the right knee a little bit forward. So if you just turn the heel and place it on the shin with your toes down, you are still challenging your balance a little. Maybe this is where you're at. If you cannot lift this heel without moving the hips, so lifting it up a little, stay here. It's better to try and find that stabilizer strength, drawing in towards your center and drawing from the tailbone up, than to send your hips out and come to some other shape that you think it belongs in. So find your balance from your core. Maybe your toes are down. Maybe your knee does not come out to the outside. There's not a lot of benefit. It's a pretty shape, but we're looking to balance. So find the place where your leg can be active. So your left leg remains active, it's strong. If you can bring your foot onto your shin, connect with pushing your foot into your shin and your shin back into your foot. So now your legs are really active and strong. And then you can maybe practice bringing your left hand to prayer, getting tall, 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 and maybe even meeting your right hand to your left and practicing your balance. Knowing that the chair is here, for you to touch and reset. Feel the wobbles in your right foot. Feel it. Connect with both legs being strong and active. This is not a passive pose. Bring yourself tall from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Feel your wobbles. Breathe. And lower the left foot. Tap out the right. You're going to switch sides, so your left side is going to be facing the chair. Set up. Know where your hips are. Get strong in the left leg. So you're really activating the left leg, pulling all the muscles strong. Bring your right foot forward. See where you can go to. Maybe just here with your toe on the ground, your heel on your foot, on your shin. This is balancing. Trying to get long and strong in the core. Try not to hold your breath to balance. And then maybe you can bring your foot to your shin. And if you catch it, press your foot into your shin into your foot. So both legs are active and strong. And practice bringing the right hand to your heart center. And maybe meeting the left to meet it. Feeling the wobbles, knowing your chair is there. Check in on the toes of the left foot. Try not to grip the ground with the toes. You're pulling up out of the leg, not gripping the toes. Breathe and hold. Balance. Feel the wobbles. And bring it down, tap it out. Turn to face the chair. Left foot a little bit closer, right foot a little bit back, bending into the left leg. Just to get a comfortable, balanced base. So you just want your legs to be a little bit active, a little bit comfortable, a little bit balanced. We're gonna bring our hands to the chair. We're gonna take right arm circles. Not just flopping through range of motion of the joints, but long, strong, active circles. Take your right arm in a big, long circle, feeling every part of the circle. Slow. Working with your breath. Arms strong and engaged. Bring your right hand back to the chair. We're going to pull back from the chair. So we're going to inhale, pull the right arm back, bent elbow. Exhale, push back towards the chair. Inhale, pull, maybe even making a fist. Exhale, push. We're starting to try and feel all of the arm and shoulder engaged in the core. Legs can be mildly engaged, or they can be engaged if you want to work the legs too. Switch sides. Right foot steps in, left foot steps back to wherever you have a balanced and comfortable base. We're holding onto the chair with the right hand. We're going to take long, slow, active circles with the left arm. Trying to find all the muscles of the shoulder. Trying to keep a little bit of engagement through the arm. And then face the chair. Inhale as you draw the left elbow back. Exhale as you push back towards the chair. Inhale, draw the left elbow up and back. Exhale, push. Remember, we're using the chair for balance. We're not really sinking and dumping in and holding on. We're trying to pull up, use our body strength. find our balance, using the chair just to help us. Step it in, tap the feet out, and slowly make your way back to a seated position on your chair. So take your time, coming back to a seat, landing in the position we started in, and noticing what's different. How do you feel? Noticing your shoulders, noticing your breath. Noticing your hips, your legs, maybe take some wiggles through the toes and the feet. And then come to a still seat, trying to think about getting longer in the spine. So not straighter, not pulling our shoulders back and our chin back, but imagining just taking the weight of the skull off the spine, as if you're being pulled by a string from the crown of your head, making little spaces between each vertebrae. Find your breath and just watch it flow in and flow out. We're going to take stretches through the rib cage. So the focus is on the rib cage, opening one side. So one of the things I often do is we open one side, we crunch, crunch, crunch the other side. We're not looking to do that. We're looking to lengthen, make space on one side. So we're going to take our left arm up. We're going to push it up, 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 up. So we're thinking about lengthening here. If you have tight shoulders, you can bend the arm. You can let the arm hang out and just push the shoulder up. So you're thinking about pushing from here. You can just push the shoulder up. Push, push, push. So what we're thinking about is lengthening through from the hip to the armpit. So find a way to lift, 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 as if you're pushing down through the left hip and pulling up from the armpit. You can do this, get the arm up, it helps guide you. So pushing the hand to the ceiling and then a teeny tilt, lengthening. And then imagine pushing your breath through your rib cage. So as you fill up your breath into your left rib cage, you're imagining it pushing through each rib. The little spaces in between the ribs, filling up, stretching those muscles. Mindful of any tension you're holding in your neck as you do this. And then bring that down. Take a little wiggle and reset the shoulders. And then on to the other side. So again, the focus is stretching from the right hip to the right armpit. So we're going to either lift our arm up and lengthen, 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 and then a little teeny tilt. But we're still keeping that concept of pushing down through the right hip and pulling up through the armpit. Tight shoulder, just think about lifting from the armpit. Put your hand and arm wherever your shoulder is comfortable. Lift through the armpit, and you can just keep your arm down entirely and lift through the shoulder. You really want to just focus on opening up this right side, filling up the breath and pushing gently through each rib. Mindful of neck tension. Let your head and neck be comfortable. And then bring that down. Take a little wiggle, reset. Take the chin down towards the chest. Feel what stops the chin. Where are the holding patterns in the back of the neck? Connect with those muscles. Slowly take your chin towards the ceiling and push the chin up. So this is dumping down and dropping my head behind me. This is pushing my chin up with the muscles active in my neck. So lift from the collarbones to the chin. Bring the head back to neutral. It can actually be helpful to bring your fingertips just underneath the collarbones, just to give you a little connection of where you're stretching and feeling into. Head back to neutral. Turn your chin towards the right shoulder. Turn your chin back through center and turn through the left shoulder. So you're really trying to feel what's going on in the neck. Bring it back to center. Take a little roll, one at a time, with the shoulders backwards. Slow. Bring the shoulders up towards the ears, squeeze, and then suddenly let them drop. Squeeze, and suddenly drop. So I'm going to try and just let them drop a little, wiggle a little. As if we're, oh, I'm so mad, I'm so mad, I'm so tight, and then, oh, never mind. Hold tension, and then just let it go. Pull it tight, pull it tight, pull it tight. And notice, maybe you want to bring your hands into fists. You're going to start to get really, really, really tight. Maybe you're going to squeeze as many muscles as you can find. Maybe you're going to squeeze the face even. Squeeze the stomach, squeeze the legs, squeeze, 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 hold tight. And then take a deep breath in and suddenly let all that tension go. Be like a rag doll, soft, floppy, letting go. So option for the meditation portion of the class, you may come down to the ground if you're comfortable, coming down to the ground, finding a pose that you're comfortable in resting in. If you are not comfortable in coming to the ground, you're just going to take your meditation pose in a seat. There are many ways that you can make a seated meditation more comfortable. You can place blocks in underneath your arms so that your shoulders can soften. So when we sit with our hands in our lap, it's kind of like a long drop for our shoulders. If we raise our hands up a little, it just gives our shoulder muscles a little rest. We're a little further away from the end of range of motion in our shoulder. So we can let our arm rest on the block, give our shoulder a little rest. You can put a blanket on, over, and behind your back. You can put a blanket over you. Anything you need to do to start to make yourself a little more comfortable. So, there are lots of schools of thought that make you uncomfortable in meditation to help keep you alert. So your body is constantly sending you messages, so it keeps you from falling asleep. So that's not what we're looking for today. We're looking for as much physical comfort as we can possibly find so that we can tune out the physical layer messages and check in with the internal layer. So we're going to start to close our eyes if it's comfortable with us and settle in. I'm going to read from the Radiant Sutra. So as you're starting to settle in, remember those questions we asked at the start of practice. So start to take those questions now. How do you feel emotionally? How do you feel physically, energetically, mentally? Just notice, checking in. And when we're doing that squeezing exercise, did you notice any muscles that didn't want to let go? So maybe your hands didn't want to let go, maybe your back didn't let go. Just kind of notice and check in on those muscles now. Can you bring a little more softness? Can you soften the soles of your feet? Can you soften around the ankles and knees? Can you soften a little more over the hips? Soften a little more around the shoulders, in the neck, a little more the muscles of the face. And then we've been working with the breath, intentionally working with the breath, intentionally following the breath throughout practice. Now, we're going to surrender control of our breath as if we were sound asleep at night. Our breath comes in and out without us forcing it, without us telling it what to do. So start to just let it go, like the waves of the ocean, rolling in, rolling out, however it rolls in and rolls out. And then start to draw your focus from the thoughts. So notice your thoughts. Notice what is going on in the head. Notice what is present. And then start to draw like you're taking a little trip away from the thoughts. So you can imagine you have a little elevator in your spine, or a little staircase in your spine. You're going to be in the brain at the top of the thoughts. And you're going to walk away from the thought layer. And you're going to walk down the spine, and you're going to journey in towards the heart center. And as you journey in deeper and deeper, it's not that the thoughts are not there. You know they're there. You're just walking away from them. Walking, walking, walking away towards the center of the heart. And as you walk deeper and deeper within, perhaps you can become so quiet and so still, and the thoughts so far away that you can find the sound of your own heartbeat. Maybe you're resting here looking for the sound of your own heartbeat. This is where you want to remain, and feel free to tune out my words. Reading from the Radiant Sutra. And again, these words were written a long time ago. They've been through many translations, and they were written in a language that was very poetic and based on sounds. So this really was meant to be heard more from the spiritual self, the heart self, than the cognitive self. So try to let go of understanding and thinking and just feel the general idea, the general feeling, the spiritual connection of the words. Consider all the pain and all the pleasure you have ever experienced as waves on a very deep ocean, which you are. From the depths, witness those waves, rolling along so bravely, always changing, beautiful in their self-sustaining power. Marvel that once you identified with only the surface of this ocean. Now embrace the waves' depth, undersea mountains, out to the farthest shore. If you are in a wonderful place and you're resting, you wish to spend more time here, please take as much time as you need, listening to your body. You need to finish up within the 60-minute mark. We are right on that number, so begin to bring yourself back to the present moment. If you are on the ground, bring your knees in and curl up in a ball in a fetal position, whichever side is calling to you. if you are on your chair, just rub your hands together, make them warm, and bring one at a time over your heart center. It doesn't matter which is on top. And just feel the warmth of your hands in this space. Imagine your arms are like a little protective hug. You're curled up in a little protective cocoon, connecting into your spiritual center, your bliss center. If you're on the ground, slowly make your way to a seated position with your hands at prayer. And if you're on the chair, just bring your hands up prayer at heart space. And again, connecting with the concept of bringing our left and right sides to meet in front of our heart, as if accepting ourselves as whole and complete, precisely as we are. We practice new positions, new shapes, new ways of looking at our breath, our body, but we also add in all these little familiar patterns. Familiar patterns are beneficial pathways in our mind. So come to some of these poses that make you feel a certain way as often as you can. Their benefit increasing each time that you connect with the pose and the purpose of the pose. May we all feel a little more connected, a little more strong, a little more whole, and a little more loved. Thank you for joining me.